Hello friends, welcome to APM Stats Connect. This is our fourth video on this testing of hypothesis lecture series. In the last video, we discussed about test function, power and size of the test. Today, we will discuss about most powerful and uniformly most powerful test. Okay, so first let's see when we say a test function phi naught is most powerful. For that, let us consider the collection phi alpha. Let phi alpha be the class of all tests for the problem alpha theta naught theta 1. So here phi alpha, it is the collection of all test function with the size alpha for testing a problem of h naught theta belongs to capital theta naught against h1 usual, alternative and null hypothesis. These are the general representation. So phi alpha, it is the collection of all test function with the size alpha for testing h naught theta belongs to theta naught against h1 theta belongs to theta 1. So here the level of significance is alpha, and this problem of testing can be represented by a triplet that is alpha, theta naught and theta 1. So this triplet, it represents the problem of testing h naught theta belongs to theta naught against h1 theta belongs to theta 1 at a level of significance alpha. So we consider this collection phi alpha, and then a test phi naught from phi alpha is said to be the most powerful test against an alternative theta belongs to theta 1 if beta phi naught of theta greater than or equal to beta phi of theta for all phi in phi alpha. That is, we consider a test function phi naught from the collection phi alpha. So phi naught, the size of phi naught will be alpha, and this phi naught is said to be most powerful test for testing h naught against h1, that is theta belongs to theta naught against theta belongs to theta 1 if the condition is beta phi naught of theta greater than or equal to beta phi of theta for all phi in phi alpha and also for all theta belongs to theta 1. That is, whenever we take theta from theta 1, beta phi naught of theta, it represents the power of the test phi naught. So beta phi naught of theta, theta belongs to theta 1, it is the power of the test phi naught. Similarly, beta phi of theta, theta belongs to theta 1, it is the power of the test phi. So phi naught is said to be the most powerful test if the power of phi naught is always greater than or equal to the power of phi for all phi in phi alpha. If theta naught contains only one point, this definition suffices. If on the other hand phi theta 1, if on the other hand theta 1 contains at least 2 points, as will usually be the case, we will have an MP test corresponding to each theta in theta 1. So if theta 1 contains only 1 point, then we will find a single most powerful test. If theta 1 contains more than 1 point, then for each theta in theta 1, we will able to find a most powerful test. Corresponding to each theta in theta 1, we can find a most powerful test. Okay. Now let us consider the definition of uniformly most powerful test. Test phi naught in phi alpha for the problem alpha theta naught theta 1 is said to be a uniformly most powerful test if beta phi naught of theta greater than or equal to beta phi of theta for all phi in phi alpha uniformly in theta belongs to theta 1. That is, we already said that if theta 1 contains more than 1 points, then we will able to find a most powerful test corresponding to each thetas in theta 1. And if the most powerful test corresponding to each theta are the same or uniform, then that most powerful test phi naught is called uniformly most powerful test, and it will satisfy the condition beta phi naught of theta greater than or equal to beta phi of theta for all phi in phi alpha and uniformly in theta belongs to theta 1. Thus, if theta naught and theta 1 are both composite, the problem is to find a UMP test phi for the problem phi, the triplet alpha, theta naught and theta 1. That is, if theta 1 and theta naught are simple, then they only contains one point and we will find a single most powerful test. If they are composite, then they contains more than one point and corresponding to each thetas in theta 1, we will able to find most powerful test. So, if the theta naught and theta 1 are composite, then the problem will be of the form to find the uniformly most powerful test and not to find the most powerful test. Okay, so theta 1 is if theta 1 is composite, it contains more than one point, then the problem will be of the form find the uniformly most powerful test and not to find a most powerful test phi for the problem alpha, theta naught and theta 1.